Hey, hello and welcome to JoyNews Today. My name is Kenneth Jesse. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming out this afternoon, Garden City Special School in darkness. 5 weeks and counting, over 66,000 Ghana cedis indebtedness to the Electricity Company of Ghana. We'll bring you details as they appeal to the ECG to turn on the light.
It's been hell. I will say it that way. Because I've been running up and down from their office, regional office to the district office.
Also ahead today, minority in parliament accused government of violating the constitution in the distribution of funds to the District Assembly Common Fund. Basic schools in the La Dadikotopon municipality still in ruins 10 months after its roofing was ripped off by rainstorm. More as the pupils reel under the severe conditions affecting their academic work. We have details of these and many other stories coming up in the next hour. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome to the program. The Electricity Company of Ghana, as part of its revenue mobilization drive, has disconnected power to the Garden City Special School in the Ashanti region. The school for disabled children under the Ghana Education Service has been in darkness for over 5 weeks for failing to pay a debt of 66,000 Ghana cedis to the power distributor. Authorities at the school want ECG to connect them to electricity grid while awaiting payment from the government. Nana Bwachi Yadam visited the school and father's report.
Students and school authorities are frustrated as they have been plunged into darkness for 5 weeks now over debt owed to the Electricity Company of Ghana. The situation has adversely affected academic activities and boarding on the campus of the Garden City Special School at Asokore Mampo. Students are forced to spend several hours outside their rooms at night due to the heat. This is making it difficult for academic work to progress. The headmistress of the school, Rosalind Frimpong Japan, is worried about the situation.
It's been hell. I will say it that way. Because I've been running up and down from their office, regional office to the district office. They asked me to make letters. I did the letter. I sent it to the district office. I went there to follow up with the letter, and I was told it has been endorsed and taken to the region. I went to the region because I wanted to meet the regional director and explain to him that yes, we owe, we know the school owes ECG, but these are children who are vulnerable. And this particular term has been a bit hard for us in the school because with the males' dormitory, the roof got ripped off. So they are sleeping in the classrooms. And for them sleeping in the classroom and no lights, I mean, it means some of them will not sleep.
The school depended on a power generator, which also broke down. The headmistress says the school is yet to receive money from the government to settle the utility bills.
As at now, ECG says until we pay, they will not put the light on for us. But where are we getting the money to pay? Nobody pays school fees here. We don't do any IGF here. So where do we get the money? So until government releases feeding grant to the school, it means we don't have any money. We won't have any money. So are we going to continue sleeping in darkness? This is the administration block. Work is on standstill.
William Amankra is the educational director at the Asokore Mampo municipality. He is equally worried about the situation.
If they could come and restore the power because of the nature of the children up to now. And this mass disconnection, ECG staff, they've been doing this almost everywhere. Individual houses, companies, some government institutions, and the rest. But we are very much concerned because of the nature of the children, special children. And when there is no light, their condition is worse. You see, their issues are triggered by light or darkness. That's why we are so much concerned.
Rosalind Frimpong is pleading with the ECG to restore power as the school plans to settle their debt when their funds are delivered.
Whatever it is, the bill will be paid. But how can we continue to let these children sleep in darkness? Yesterday, they killed 2 scorpions near where the boys are sleeping. What if they enter the room and they buy somebody's child? How will we explain it?
A difficult moment here for the students at the Garden City Special School as they are being forced to sleep in darkness and intense heat. Some of the students here at their dormitory would have to be staying out for quite some time to get fresh air because their rooms are hot. The headmistress of the school is pleading with the electricity company to turn on their lights as they make way to pay their debt. For JoyNews, my name is Nana Boachitanko Kumasi.
Well, still with the power distributor, the ECG is coughing up several thousands of US dollars as the company begins emergency maintenance to restore power to affected communities. The activities of suspected criminals are causing power outages in some communities in the Ashanti region. Ohiminteria has more.
The miscreants are targeting bows and knots, holding the base of high-tension towers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana. In one of such operations, thieves caused 8 towers, covering about 12 kilometers to fall, leading to power outages. The power company has had to ration power supply to affected areas, which included Kumawu, Bekwai, Mansonkwanta, and Ejisu. Here is General Manager, Ashanti Substation Division, Engineer Peter Kofi Fletcher, who first spoke about the severity of the vandalism.
We have our tower line, which feeds areas like Echankrom, Ejisu environs, Efidiase and its environs, Kumewu and its environs in Aguna. We came this morning to see that the towers holding the lines have fallen. 8 of them have fallen on the ground. And last night, this happened. In fact, it happened last night during the rainfall. And we came to site and realized that the cause of them falling were as a result of some bolt knots being removed, some members which have been removed from the base up to a level of about 3 meters from the base have been removed. And these are structures that were intentionally built. Every component is necessary in the construction. So if you remove the bolt knot and the members, you compromise the integrity. So yesterday during the heavy windstorm, our line tripped. We tried again and it didn't hold. So this morning, as we're hunting for the cause of the outage, we came and realized that 8 of our towers are on the ground. And the cause is basically some parts have been removed from the base, basically the bolt knots and the members. And this affected power supply.
The situation is not only a dent on the operations of ECG, but also a financial constraint on the strained resources. The ECG will spend at least $1.2 billion on maintenance works alone. Engineer Kofi Fletcher again.
The cost alone, we're envisaging not less than $1 million in the construction. The time for the construction alone, we may go almost about a month. This is just even one of the many vandalism around. Our transformers, which are even in circuit on the poles, are being toppled to the ground to even steal some part of it. Our RMUs, you go around, our RMUs are even being exposed. Some parts of the equipment, the one that's mounted at the ground, are being exposed. People are just picking some petty part of it. But you see, the petty part of it that you pick, that doesn't fetch you much. The whole equipment is damaged. So we just entreat the public that if you see anybody around this equipment suspiciously, kindly report. Our number is 0302 611 611.
So what does this mean to customers in affected areas?
We are assuring our customers that though it is a blow to us, customers, the impact on customers may not be felt that much because we are reconfiguring the network to put everybody on supply.
Meanwhile, officials of ECG have lodged a complaint with the Ghana Police Service while working around the clock to fully restore power in affected areas. From Kumasi, for JoyNews, Ohiminteria reporting.
Meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer of the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti region, Ben Entry, has expressed concern about the worrying phenomenon in the region and is appealing to the public to support them in curbing the situation.
Right. But have you made any arrests, any suspects in custody yet?
Well, as we speak, we only reported the incident to the Ghana Police Service and investigation has commenced. And it's our hope that very soon they'll get at least one or two people. Because as the general manager rightly said, it's not just Ejisu that this incident has occurred. It's not like a one-off thing. It's a menace that is gradually gaining momentum in the Ashanti region. Because you realize that an area will complain of an outage. By the time we get there, realize that a transformer is on the ground, has been damaged. The important equipment like copper windings, the boots and nuts have been removed. Sometimes even the RME fluids have been removed as well. And once these items are removed, these customers will be able to get power supply. So we realize that the interest of just few people who are more or less like trying to damage our equipment will end up causing anxiety to a lot of people. So we have reported the incident to the Ghana Police Service. We also need national security, among others, because like you said, where our towers are passing, this is like a 33,000 volts network. We can't bring it to the center of town. Because imagine if this pylon was in the center of town and then the cables were damaged or the cables got to the ground. Imagine anybody within our vicinity could have been electrocuted. So we are also happy that in terms of safety, there is no casualty reported from the general public and then from the ECG side as well. So it's because of safety reasons and then where we can get corridor. That is why these pylons are located in the outskirts of the major town. But then we need the support because, as Oyini rightly said, there are farmers within that area. So if it is your farm produce that you are guarding, you're able to guard it very well. So see the ECG asset as your own asset because ECG is a state institution. Anything that belongs to the state belongs to all of us. So let us come together to help protect ECG installations. Because once we protect the installation, it will increase our chances of keeping the lights on. Yesterday, if it wasn't because we had an alternative route, because imagine the line was what we call a radial line, i.e. a one-way line. These people would have been off until that 1 month that will restore all the 8 hours back to the national grid. But thankfully, it was a ring system, so we were able to supply some of them from Ejisu as well. And as we speak, no customer is off.
Well, news just coming in indicates that the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, have embarked on an indefinite strike with immediate effect. Let's read portions of their statement they released to you. And it says, we have assembled you here this morning to help carry our message and sentiments to the authorities that be at the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, and all who care about the education enterprise in the country. In recent times, we, the pre-tertiary teacher unions, NAT, NAGRAT, and the CCTGH have raised our voices over and over again on the following issues with the employer and asked for resolution, failure of which we hinted advising ourselves. So these are the reasons why they're going on strike. One is the delay with negotiation of the collective agreement. Two is the scheme of service, which they say they have drawn the attention of their Director General of GES to the fact that the Ghana Education Service does not have a functional scheme of service for teachers. And then if we can see the third reason why they're going on strike. So this just happened, news just coming in. The third reason is that equally important to the teachers are the following issues, and they've listed it there. Let's get onto the telephone lines right now and speak to the chairman of NAT, Isaac Owusu. Mr. Owusu, welcome to the program. We've outlined some of your reasons for going on strike, but really, tell us the basis for it.
Well, let me say a very good afternoon to your cherished viewers and listeners as well.
Right.
And as you rightly read our press that we just released today.
Okay.
We, the Pre-Tertiary Teacher Union, NAT, NAGRA, CCT, we believe that the leadership, the employer, i.e. the government, is not being fair to us. And as leaders, we cannot sit down for our members to be accusing us, thinking that maybe we are even the best government. One, the issue of our collective agreement has expired. And per the arrangement, February this year, the negotiation should have completed. We have bring the attention of the employer. Until date, they have not said anything. For the delay in the supply of the teachers' laptop, the contract was signed in November 2020. My brother, we are entering into the 4th year now, and to date, not all the teachers in the country have received their laptop. And this and other many more that we feel that we cannot sit aloof for our members to be crying day in, day out. So in view of that, we send notice to the employer for the past 3 weeks. The 3 weeks has elapsed, and we didn't hear anything from the employer. We've equally sent copies of the notice to the Labour Commission. And so we believe that we have followed the due process, and in view of that today, we are telling all our members across the country to stay at home effective today.
You've mentioned the negotiation or the delay in the negotiation of the collective agreement. What really is that collective agreement you talk about?
Yes, the collective agreement is a contractual agreement that governs the employer and the employee, our relationship as to our working relations.
Right.
If there should be any allowances, leaves, motion, and what have you, that is what we are referring to our collective agreement.
Right. At the beginning of this year, government increased the salary of. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Isaac Owusu, can you hear me? We seem to have lost him on the telephone lines there, but we'll try and reconnect and get back to him to give us more information about their latest strike, which they are embarking with immediate effect. Well, let's move to Parliament now, because the minority in the House are accusing government of breaching the constitution of the country and the recent Supreme Court rulings in the distribution of funds to the District Assembly's Common Fund. The minority and some majority MPs have been up in arms against the Finance Ministry in recent times over the delay in releasing funds for development at the local level. According to the Deputy Ranking Member on the Local Government Committee, Benjamin Bodu, government owes the District Assembly's Common Fund billions of cedis and has also refused to comply with the law to release money to the fund on a quarterly basis.
Here, and we appear to be simply interested in approving the formula. But when the administrator is gone, the Ministry of Finance determines what to do with the Secretariat. The problem is that the Ministry of Finance has been violating the Constitution. Article 2522 clearly states that the disbursement should be done on a quarterly basis. Then they were not doing it. They decided to cap the fund. We went to court. The Supreme Court took time to give rulings. But aside of violating the Constitution, the Ministry of Finance has refused to also observe or obey the ruling of the Supreme Court. For instance, as we sit here now, the Common Fund is being owed some 3.5 billion Ghana cedis over the past 2 years. And for 2023, the debt again has risen by another 3 billion. So I don't know where the Ministry of Finance is keeping the money meant for this Assembly's Common Fund.
We stay a while in the House of Legislature because the whole Central MP also says the Finance Ministry unlawfully removes some revenues like the mineral royalties in computing total revenues of the state to deduct District Assembly's Common Fund from.
In computing total revenues, they have deliberately taken out some important revenue handles from the total revenue. For instance, the Ministry of Finance is keeping mineral royalties out of the definition of total revenue, which is wrong. It's against the ruling of the Supreme Court. So mineral royalties are not included in the total revenue computed for the purpose of determining how much is due to this Assembly's Common Fund. The Speaker has referred this matter to the Finance Committee for inquiry, but all attempts to get the Ministry of Finance to come and answer to this question have failed. The Ministry of Finance will never appear for any inquiry to be done. That's why things are like this. In fact, I often say that the biggest enemy, I don't know why the Ministry of Finance hates Common Fund, the biggest enemy to the Common Fund Secretariat is the Ministry of Finance. They don't want to make it prosper. I don't know why. But the entire country, all the assemblies depend on this assembly's common fund. In fact, there are some assemblies which don't have any means of internally generated fund. So they depend on this assembly's common fund. But the Ministry of Finance, through some certain means, is refusing to release the funds to them.
The Finance Ministry has been responding to these accusations.
I want to put on record that, Mr. Speaker, yes, we do owe Common Fund some allocations, some arrears, and we are working very hard to make sure we pay those monies. But I want to also put on record that we haven't defaulted, or we haven't gone against the Supreme Court's ruling. That is a fact, and that I should put on the table. We have come to Finance Committee to explain how we arrive at the revenue numbers for DACF. So I just want to put that on the table, that we haven't gone against the ruling of the Supreme Court. But I want to assure the House that we work together to make sure we clear any outstandings that we have with the DACF. My colleague on the other side also mentioned the fact that some assemblies, municipals and metropolitans don't have any form of IGF, but that is also incorrect. For the property rates, there are homes or houses in every constituency, every municipal and every district, and we expect that they work together with the various authorities to help raise those needs as well. But that notwithstanding, we'll work and make sure we clear the outstandings as is expected of government.
Let's stay a while in Parliament and speak to our resident correspondent, Kweku Asante, who is joining us via Zoom. Kweku, what has been happening in the House today? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you.
Expected to go on Easter break today, and there are a number of key business that the House had to do today because it's the last day. For instance, the ministerial nominees of President Akufo-Addo are expected to come to the floor for a vote today. About more than 10 of them that were nominated by the president, the ministers and the deputies. Early on, the minority at the appointment committee have said they were not going to vote for those persons. That would have meant that each and every one of them would have been subject to a secret vote on the floor. But we understand some consensus has been reached, and then this will be a vote by consensus. This will be a voice vote. There's also an outstanding 150 million Ghana cedi loan that government is seeking to contract. We expect that today being the last day for this particular meeting, that loan agreement will also come to the floor for a vote. And so there are key business that the House is expected to do before they go on break. The Speaker of Parliament has been away for a while, and we understand he's back in town and may make some comments about the president and the conduct of the secretary to the president in writing to the clerk, warning him against trying to transmit to the president those documents. So today is the last day, and we expect that Parliament will get away some of these key business before they proceed on Easter break.
Kweku Asante is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. Thank you very much. Now, classroom blocks at Manle Dada and African Unity Basic Schools in the La Dadi-Kotopon municipality are still in ruins 10 months after its roofing was ripped off by a rainstorm. Pupils say they are unable to undertake specialized subjects like computing and practicals because the facility is no longer fit for such a purpose. In spite of the promise by the La Dadi-Kotopon Municipal Assembly to fix the situation within 3 months, it appears this promise is becoming a pipe dream. JoyNews' Ramat Bashir visited the place and has filed the following report.
It's been almost 10 months with no roof over a 13-unit classroom block at the Africa Unity Basic School and Manle Dada Basic School in the La Dadi-Kotopon Municipal Assembly. The roofs were completely destroyed following a downpour in May 2023. The pupils now compete for space with the hot scorching rays from the sun. But as the rainy season beckons, the fate of over 500 pupils now hang in a balance. The grim reality of having to stay home while the rain setting lingers on their minds. Hannah Aitonam Gavo is the head girl prefect of Manle Dada Basic School. She says the situation has begun taking a toll on the academic work of her colleagues.
And the academic works of the students now is coming down because when sometimes it rains, it leaks inside the room, yes, and we don't get time to learn too. Because if it's raining, we all pack ourselves and sit one side. Both Mahamudu and African Unity are sitting in the same classroom and different teachers. So maybe if Mahamudu is having a lesson and African Unity too is having a lesson, the teachers became confused.
The regular classroom stream has been collapsed into one unit. Aside from the congestion they're currently dealing with, they are unable to pay attention while lessons are underway. It's become a reason why some pupils are absenting themselves from school.
If it is raining too, all the students must pack themselves at one side before we be comfortable. And or even the class we are, it's because of the rain. We can't even learn well. And even the sun is scorching too much. We can't even stay in the class. It's scorching on us too much.
We are not feeling comfortable because whilst the teacher, the Mahamudu school teacher is coming to teach, and whilst our teacher too is coming to teach, it will be confused. Okay, for me, I'm striving to learn very hard because when it rains, we cannot concentrate on what the teacher is teaching on. So we all have to go to another class to purchase the small so that we can, when the rain stops, we can come and then learn.
I feel sad because when the rain falls, it destroys our books that we use to learn. So we don't get enough books so that we can learn with it.
For the head teachers of these institutions, cost sharing of classrooms, libraries and restrooms are a major nightmare they have had to contend with on a daily basis. A timetable for two schools merged into one when it shouldn't be the case.
We're having congestion in the classroom because two schools coming together as one was problematic. Furniture was also another. How to draw a timetable for the various teachers to go to class to teach, the teachers managing our resources very well was a bit challenging.
The situation is unbearable, it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. It retards teaching and learning. Instead of progressing, you see them retrogressing. Or sometimes getting information from different teachers becomes very difficult.
The Municipal Director of Education at Ladma, Habiba Kotoma, is blaming the slow pace of work on resource constraints. She is confident with the intervention of stakeholders and some companies that situation will soon be resolved.
The fact that the cost is so much, the first company that came on board was not able to complete it last year for us. Then we have a current company in place that came forward willingly and asked if they could support any of our schools in distress. And the MCE agreed and handed over African Unity. We are hoping that this current company will work faster and get African Unity back on its feet. Then the Ghanaian child in La can go back into their normal classroom.
Curious to find out the cause of the delay, JoyNews visited the head of works for Ladma, Engineer Ben Debra. He stated that the budget for the project is yet to be disbursed, but was hopeful that work will be completed in 3 months when funds are allocated.
Beginning of the year, we prepare our budget and we implement our budget based on what has been put in a gift miss. When we say gift miss, you understand. So every payment that is not in the gift miss, it will not be on it. So this year is the implementation year. Come in 3 months' time, you see the final stages of the work.
Despite assurances from the Ladade Kotopong Municipal Assembly to repair the damaged classroom block, the situation remains dire, impeding academic activities and depriving students of the right to quality education. Ramat Bashiru's report for JoyNews.
Two other stories this afternoon. Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says there's a need to do business differently, and that is what he is committed to doing. Interacting with members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Accra, Dr. Bawumia reiterated the need to lower interest rates to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive.
We need to be very tax competitive. We need to be able to bring interest rates down for businesses to be able to function. You're competing, you are borrowing at 32% and your competitor in another country is borrowing at 5%. Ab initio, you've lost the game. You are not competitive. So we need to understand that and be able to bring, we need stability in the exchange rate and also a lot of predictability and reasonableness on the import duties that we pay as a country. And I think the president just mentioned about our neighboring Togo, for example, and how we are losing containers to Togo because we are more expensive in terms of import duty than Togo. I will comment on that. Utilities are another issue. So it was really heartwarming listening to the president and the proposals that the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is making for us to consider in this matter.
Return from the break with the latest in business.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Ghana's economy recorded a 2.9% gross domestic product growth rate in 2023, stronger than the revised 1.5% by the Finance Ministry. The growth rate is lower than the 3.1% recorded in 2022. According to data from the Ghana Statistical Service, the services sector contracted by negative 1.2%. It, however, remains the biggest size of the economy. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobne-Nim said the last quarter of 2023, however, recorded a higher growth rate of 3.8%, driven by the oil and gas subsector. This is the first time in more than a year that Ghana recorded a higher growth rate in oil GDP. In other news, some UK higher education alumni have called for policy reforms in the education sector to improve the quality of students and research output. At a British Council Alumni UK Roundtable session, we discussed a report to assess the activities and impact of UK alumni in Ghana. Some alumni noted that since a country's socio-economic development is heavily linked to the quality of results produced by its education system, there is a need to pay critical attention to the sector. Here's more in this report.
The Alumni UK Roundtable and Networking Cocktail, organized by the British Council, aims to bring together UK alumni from various industries in Ghana to facilitate connections and knowledge sharing. One of the highlights of the event was a panel discussion on an upcoming report that highlights the factors and motivations behind the post-study engagement of Ghanaians who have studied at UK higher education institutions. Naomi Bafojewu, a research and product associate at Confidant, the research partner of the project, shed more light on this.
The feedback we are getting is that the UK education is really making some good impact in Ghana, and people are applying their knowledge in various fields. People in business are applying critical thinking, in education, people are engaging more of their students so that they can implement the good things they learned about how their lecturers related with them to make education easier for them. And so the output of this study will inform the type of support that they can give to the alumni. So if somebody is already in education, what kind of support can British Council give to them to make sure that they are making more impact?
Sheribim Amenyado, an alumnus of Robert Gordon University, explains the benefits of UK higher education on socio-economic development.
UK education students focus on the person, so I think equity and quality is an equity and quality challenge. So I think clearly that's been one of the most standout things for me, where you experience education that's more tailored to you. You have time to speak to a professor. You go to a professor's office, speak about something you are passionate about, and he listens to you. It's his job. He's being accessed, but you know, the numbers in Ghana do not augur well for, especially when we find ourselves in an era where we also want to educate a large number of people. I think the UK progressively over the years have gone past that stage. So maybe for where we are, that's what is working, but that's also the striking difference.
Regarding the improvement of standards in the Ghanaian education system, John Nani, a member of Alumni UK, commended the British Council for their efforts and called for more partnerships to ensure same.
It's great that we are doing these exercises to get information and see how best we can help our educational system here in Ghana. Much is left to be desired when you look at the kind of education that's in the UK and then the kind of education that we have here. I think it's a good initiative and it should be promoted and it should be helped.
And that's it for this segment. Sports is up next here on JN Today. Do stay with us.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Ghana's 100 meters record holder Benjamin Azamati was unsuccessful in his attempts to win a gold medal for the country in the men's 100 meters that happened at the Legon Sports Stadium on Tuesday. The outcome of his performance left many Ghanaians disappointed, and he says he's equally disappointed because he wished he would have done better.
You know, having like the whole nation on your shoulders and having to represent them very, very well brings a lot of, you know, pressure on you. But I've always seen pressure as me performing better because, of course, I think Ghanaians, or I believe Ghanaians wish me well. They want me to do well. That is why when it doesn't come out the way they want it, they get mad about it. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of football. And I also get mad when players don't play well. So I really understand that. I really understand the criticism and everything. And I accept it. I take it. I don't get mad about it. It's normal. It happens. But I've always said one thing to myself, that whatever that the fans want, I believe that I want more for myself. And as much as they are disappointed, I'm more disappointed. I just have to work on myself, work harder to be able to make them excited, to be able to make them proud.
Talk to me. I noticed that in the last 20 meters of the 100 meters, it appeared you pulled up, but you were still able to psych up yourself for the 4x1.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've prepared ourselves for times like this. There are still ups and downs, and champions never give up. So regardless of whatever that is going to happen in my career, as much as it happened in front of the home crowd, people will think it's really going to break me down. But I got a whole team that was depending on me. The other 3 guys was depending on me, wanted me to run it, wanted us to do well. And I had at the back of my mind, we had to defend our title as well. So came here, psyched myself up, talked to my coach, Elama Manapo, gingered me for me to go into the relay and just go do well and let's qualify to the final.
Now let's talk football, and Ghana's Black Satellites, they will come up against Uganda in the final of the men's under-20 competition, which is also part of the African Games 2023. Head coach of Ghana's under-20 team, Desmond Ofer, says that he's looking forward to a great final on Friday.
As expected, it was a very tough game, against a very, very good team. A team that has been working really hard to compete on the highest level. So we had a lot of respect for them. We had to fight for it. It took us a while, but from the beginning to the end, we dominated the game. We were never in trouble. They chose the long ball, which we were a bit surprised because we thought that they were going to play because a good footballing playing team, but that wasn't the case. we dealt with it well. The first half, we didn't create enough chances, in my opinion. Not enough clear-cut chances, but we dig deep and eventually we got rewarded. My boys are not wasteful. We had one clear chance and we finished it. I can't recall any part of the game where we squandered any chances. So I don't understand your question basically. You know, we're in the middle of the Ramadan and I want to protect the boys as much as I can.
And about 2 days ago, South Africa decided to withdraw its male and female hockey teams from the African Games, citing that the facility was not good enough to host the event. According to them, Ghana's unpreparedness to host the hockey competition meant that they were going to risk the health of their players if they allowed them to play. Well, there was a reaction from the African Federation of Hockey. They said that countries are here to compete and not to give excuses of why they cannot participate.
The FIH said the turf has to be certified. Yes, for qualifying tournament, and this tournament is not qualifying as we had our qualifying tournament some months ago. With our experience as a TDs, we have here two tournament directors, one from South Africa and one from Ghana. We have two umpires managers, one from Nigeria and one from South Africa again. And we have 6 members of the African Hockey Federation here. I called for immediate meeting for all together to decide will we play or not. Actually,
that's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
We begin on a rather sad note in showbiz today as Burger High Life pioneer and Akotip Brofo hitmaker George Dako has passed away at the age of 73. The late musician, renowned for his skills as a guitarist, vocalist, composer and songwriter, held the title of Tufuhini of Akrupon with a stool name Nana Ampim Dako I. His death comes just days after the loss of High Life legend KK Kabobo. My colleague Jacqueline Ansuma-Yabua has more in the following report. Rest in peace and may his memory be a blessing. Now, dance is an aspect of culture that distincts the philosophies of culture of its origins. As a symbol of identity, dance is a reflective of the constant conception and reconception of self and society. For our Ghana Man series, we throw a spotlight on the kete dance. The term kete refers to a specific set of instruments, the music played by those instruments, and the dance performed to that music. Originally existing within Ashanti royal court system, kete is now heard at funerals and weddings, as well as royal palace events.
Today we take a look at the kete dance. The popular kete dance is associated with the Akans. It is believed that the dance originated from the Ketekrachi tribe in the Volta region of Ghana and was danced by the hunters of the tribe. However, when the Asantis conquered them, they took over the dance. Kete is usually danced in the royal courts of chiefs and is performed for chiefs who sit in palanquins. Not only do Asantis perform this dance, kete is also popular among the people of Bono. The songs that accompany the dance are usually sound of drums that send specific messages. At other times, the songs do come with lyrics.
That's it for the news this afternoon. My name is Kenneth Jesse. But for more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.